Now you can be as clever as Kevin with Tiger's new Talkboy tape recorder.
Hey, stop drooling on me. Hey, stop drooling on me.
It even has speed control.
Hi, kids. We're home early.
Hi, kids. We're home early.
Tiger's new Talkboy tape recorder comes with audio cassette. Batteries not included.
One of the all-time great Christmas films is the John Hughes classic, Home Alone from 1990. I know I couldn't have been the only kid out there who remembers jumping and falling on their ass trying to imitate and recreate the crazy and hilarious performances of Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern as the legendary criminals Harry and Marv. 2 years later, following the success of the first film in 1992, we would see Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. This time, the stakes for Kevin McAllister were at an all-time high, but for kids like me at the time, there was one particular aspect of that movie that changed everything. It was the introduction of the Talkboy. Basically a variation of the Walkman, but with the ability to record and play back your voice or anyone else's. The Talkboy was produced by Tiger Electronics at the request of John Hughes, and though it wasn't featured that heavily in the movie, the toy itself seemed destined to become a real-life piece of merchandise. Turns out that is exactly what would happen. First released in 1992, the original version of the Talkboy didn't have that voice changer effect that Kevin uses in the movie, but eventually in 1993, a new version called the Talkboy Deluxe was released with the voice changer switch on the side. For whatever reason, the very first edition didn't sell very well at all, but once this new deluxe version was released, it actually became so popular that Tiger had to pull all advertising for it because they knew they couldn't keep up with the consumer demand. I remember growing up with a number of different Talkboys over the years. Whenever one would break or the microphone would blow out, my brother and I would send our parents on a journey through every toy store seemingly in existence looking for a new one. Eventually, there were even spin-offs of the Talkboy, including a little pen-shaped device that you could use as a recorder and stealthily hide in your pocket or clip onto a shirt.
Kiss me, I'm a prince.
Kiss me, I'm a prince.
Talkboy FX Plus recording pen with 6 sound effects and 12 seconds of digital recording from Tiger.
Of course, none of these spin-offs would ever come close to the original and would ultimately become mostly forgotten. It's honestly hard to describe just how important an impact this little toy had on my life and my sense of creativity and imagination. So many years of my childhood were spent recording anything and everything on my Talkboy. From hassling every single member of my family to speak or to say something funny into it until they'd threaten to take it away or smash it, to recording scenes from movies and TV shows so I could plug in headphones at night, close my eyes, and fall asleep as those scenes replayed vividly in my mind. Then many years later, using it to record myself making up songs or playing guitar or even recording my first band while we jammed out in a bedroom or a garage. The Talkboy gave me the ultimate outlet for experimenting with my imagination. While some people grow up with their parents' video cameras making little movies in their bedroom, for me, it was using my Talkboy to make up stories, songs, or to record myself acting out scenes from my favorite movies. Perhaps the most important memory for me that I'm thankfully still able to relive to this day is the many times my grandfather and I would get together to make up ghost stories while I'd record them. We'd make a tradition of it when my grandparents would visit for holidays like Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. The laughter and the joy that I got from those times sharing the most bizarre and hilarious stories with him are something I will cherish for the rest of my life. This was a time long before cell phones too, where you could pop out a camera at any time and place to capture a moment. I had to prep for these moments that I captured on my Talkboy. I had to dig through to find a tape with enough free space to record, and I often found myself accidentally recording over things I would have loved to have saved. That added risk seemed to kind of add something special to the whole process. Going through those tapes after so many years and being surprised at some of the moments I had captured but had completely forgotten about makes me appreciate it that much more. The Talkboy served as a way for me to capture time, the happiest times of my childhood. Having that ability to capture special moments is what helped build my love of storytelling and of creating music and capturing it in any way possible. And I'd be willing to bet I'm not the only one out there with such fond memories of what should have been a pretty insignificant toy, but wound up becoming one of the most popular Christmas toys of all time. Unfortunately, my old Talkboy has a blown-out microphone, so I'm no longer able to record anything on it, but it still does manage to play. It almost feels a bit ironic in a certain way, like that time of developing and creating my imagination is over, and I only have the ability to relive what I have, still recorded on the many different cassette tapes that I have. And if I want to create more, I have no choice but to move on and make a new way. In recent years, I even figured out a way to rip the audio off of my old cassette tapes to turn them into permanent digital files on a hard drive, so that those memories are now bigger than ever. I often find myself listening back to those recordings of my grandfather and I telling ghost stories in the years since he's passed, and when I do, I'm immediately brought back to that time and place of happiness and childhood joy. It gives me the chance to hear my grandparents' voices again and to take myself back to the days of endless laughter and fun. Like I said earlier, I really can't accurately describe how important the Talkboy was to me as a kid, but I hope this little retrospective serves as a bit of a reminder to anyone watching out there to take every opportunity you can to capture moments, while also making sure to live in them while you have them. Somehow, I was lucky enough to do both. I'm happy that I still have my old Talkboy, and I'm proud to keep it displayed on my shelf as a constant reminder of how important imagination and creativity have always been to me. It's a reminder to never lose that sense of imagination, and to never forget the things that made you who you are. So I hope you guys have an amazing holiday season. No matter what you celebrate or how you celebrate, just make sure to spend these days with the people who matter most. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you very soon for many more 90s Stalzer trips to come. Thanks for your support, and I'll see you guys next time.
Get out of here, you nosy little pervert, or I'm gonna slap you silly!